What's going on, guys? Daryl Duggar here with my brand new ICOTec 500 GC500. Just got it in last week before I came to work, and I just want to take a minute to run through the basics of this call and show you exactly how easy, or explain to you exactly how easy it is to program this call. First, let me tell you this remote has a 300-yard no line of sight range. Not only that, but it also has 24 preloaded calls that come from ICOTec, and it also has the ability for you to program up to 200 of your own calls onto it. Going over the basic functions of the remote, as you see, you have the play button, stop button, the favorite, auxiliary button, which I'll talk about in a second, channel button up and down, which allows you to scroll through the different calls that are on there, the volume button, which obviously allows you to change the volume on the call, and then the backlight button, so if you're hunting in low light or at night. Okay, so the basics on this call, on the call itself, on the back we have external speaker. If for some reason you desire to have some kind of external speaker, there is a port for that. Unfortunately, you'll have to have your own power source to run that speaker. But we do give you the ability to run a cord out of here to that external speaker and provide the sound, but you'll have to have your own power source and amplifier to amplify the sound, or it'll only be as loud as the call. The next one is the sync, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. The auxiliary, which will allow you to run a decoy, electronic decoy if you have one. And then you have the SD card slot, which is what we're going to talk about. Basically what you do is you have this SD card that is preloaded from ICOTec with the 24 game calls that they provide you with when you buy the call. You go online, you can search. What I do is I go to Google and I type in the exact call that I'm looking for, be it like I like to hog hunt and also like to hunt for coyotes. So what I'll do is look for a pup in distress or some howling calls, challenge barks for coyotes. And then I'll go and look for a hog distress call and a piglet distress, and those are the ones that I download. And that's what I have loaded on here. Once you do that, you find that call, you download it to your computer, as long as it's in an MP3 or a WAV file, a WAV file. Then all you do is copy and paste, just like you're going to copy and paste a file or picture onto the SD card. You copy and paste those onto here. Then you eject that from your computer, place it back in the SD card slot on your ICOTec game call. Then you will turn your game call on, take the provided sync cable, put it into the sync port on the call, take your remote control for your GC500, and on the side you'll see a slot there just like the one that's on the call. You insert that into there, and it'll say updating songs, and along the way it will add all the calls that you have downloaded, and when it's done it will blink OK, just as though that is doing right there. Move the cord, and then now all the calls that you have preloaded on the SD card are now installed onto your game call. The auxiliary button, as I was talking about on the remote, you take the auxiliary port here on the bottom, plug the cord into that, and then into your electronic game call. And using this auxiliary button on your remote allows you to turn on and off your decoy while you're doing your calling sequences. You're able to store up to 200 calls on your game call. What you need to do when you save them to your computer prior to saving them to your SD card, or when you do save them to your SD card, you need to name them. The first of the name needs to be a 3-digit number starting at 001 for your first call, all the way through the sequence to 200 being the very last call saved on your call. When you do that, you'll name it 001 space, and then my first call is Piglet Distress. So my call is 001 space Piglet Distress, and then all the way down to the very end. And then when you decide that you want to add to your favorites, adding to favorites is easy. You go and you pick the call that you want to add to your favorite. Take your finger and hold down the favorites button, and then it will add it to your favorites list, as mine did there, showing my first favorites being the Piglet Distress call. hit the favorite button again. It'll go back to your list of calls. Then I go down to, say, the pup in distress call, hold that down. Again, it adds it to my favorites list as number 2. Like I said, hold down the favorites button, adds it to my call as number 2 in my favorites list, all the way down, and you're able to store up to 6 on here. That is as easy as it is to add calls to your ICOTec GC500. Now, a little bit of advice for you when you or if you decide to remove the pre-installed ICOTec game calls that come with your call. Make sure you save them on your computer so that if in the future you decide you want to add them back to it, you've got it and you don't lose those. So that's basically it. I just wanted to run down the ease and the simplicity of adding calls to it. The GC500, like I say, it's the newest, latest, and greatest game call by ICOTec, and should be released next month. Look for that in your local retailers. Price point is right where you want it, just under $200. You can't beat that, and to keep you out of trouble with your wife. And then you have the GC350. It's going to run you about $150, and then the GC300 is about $80. So you can't beat the line of calls that come from ICOTec. The quality of sound, the ease of use. They're user friendly, and they're definitely going to get the job done. So save a fawn, get out there, kill as many coyotes, and also as many hogs as you can. So I hope you enjoy my video. Definitely look up ICOTec, www.icotec.com, icotec.com. If you have any questions, feel free to message them on Facebook. And look for some videos from us at Whitetail Crazy TV, JD Pyatt and Thane Pyatt as well, doing the range, the remote range and non-line of sight videos that they've done. Definitely interesting videos. So there's more to come from ICOTec.